What it do, good people? How we doing? How we doing on this Tuesday morning? How we doing on this Tuesday morning? Man, we're not even gonna beat around the bush today. We're gonna get right into it. First, let me pour up some water. I just had a cup of coffee. Thought about getting another cup of coffee, but this is my first cup of coffee in, maybe 4 or 5 days. I've been drinking coffee. But here we are back again. I got my incense burning, and we're about to start on another section that we hadn't been on in a while. Yesterday, I closed out some things and made this part green again. And you know, of course, green means go, red means stop. So we don't have a stopping area. We're gonna go ahead and start in the green and make a stop. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I know. She's outspoken. Okay, this is Fred, so I gotta, I know. She's outspoken. I know. She's outspoken, just like her mama. But as you can see, the word "C" laced with alcohol. The word "C." I don't know why is that. The word "C" laced with alcohol darted out like a toxic missile. Let me lubricate the brain a little bit in the mouth. I know. She's outspoken, just like her mama. But as you can see, the word "C" laced with alcohol darted out like a toxic missile, exploding on contact with the boy's face, nearly scorching off his eyebrows. I can leave. Let me see. Excuse me, y'all. I can leave, do what I want to do, come back and still get what I want. You catch my drift? If nobody told you already, I go ahead. All right, he's being pretty disgusting with Jacob right now. I don't even remember writing this part at all. If nobody told you already, I'll go ahead and fill you in. Women are the most volatile, emotional creatures on the planet. On planet Earth. Sometimes they love you. Sometimes they hit you in the head with a frying pan after you come in from hanging out all night trying to win money for Christmas gifts, playing poker. Yeah, I might have lost the whole check and the gold watch that she bought for my birthday. But the point is, well, you seem like a smart fella. You get the point, right? Right? As the man continued, his relaxed face now entirely too close to Jacob's. Alright, he's sitting across the table, so. As the man continued, his relaxed face now resembling. His relaxed face resembled a tired basset hound. How do you spell basset hound? Oh my goodness. We gotta make sure this is spelt right, y'all. Let's go ahead and search Basset Hound. And it's probably not going to work, so let's do this. Siri, how do you spell Basset Hound? It's 2 S's like I thought. 2 S's. A sturdy hunting dog of breed with a long body, short legs, and big ears. As the man continued, his relaxed face resembled a tired basset hound. The hot smell of tuna, or maybe sardines mixed with alcohol, forced Jacob to stop breathing while he continued to explain the pros and cons that came with all women. Finally, Mrs. Wallace saved the day. "Hey, Fred, you care for another beer?" Oh. Would that be Fred? Would that be Mrs. Wallace giving him another beer since she's religious? I don't think so. My mom wouldn't offer anybody a beer. My grandma certainly wouldn't offer anybody a beer. Okay. And there's other people at the party, so it may be time to introduce somebody else. Maybe time to bring in another character, y'all. But before we do that, I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna get another cup of coffee, and I'll be right back. Y'all hold tight. All right, y'all, I'm back. Let's get back into it. It's been a while. I've been gone for about 10 minutes, believe it or not. But anyways, I got my second cup of coffee here and another bottle of water. As the man continued, his relaxed face resembled, let's just say, you don't have to say relax. His face resembled a tired basset hound. A tired basset hound. The kind that had been on the hunt. For days without finding whatever it had been looking for. It was looking for. The hot smell of tuna. You gotta hold tight. Hold tight. Should pause it again. Alright, as the man continued, his face resembled a tired basset hound, the kind that had been on the chase. Let's say that had been on the chase, that had been on the hunt for days without finding whatever it was. Without finding whatever it had been. Without finding whatever it was looking for. We'll leave it there right now. Keep it simple. A hot smell. No, was a smell. Did I speak about a smell before? There was a smell. There was a smell of tuna or maybe sardines mixed with alcohol. Mixed with alcohol and cigarettes. That forced Jacob to stop breathing while he continued to explain the pros and cons. While Mr. Fred I just want to talk about something real quick, y'all. Sometimes when you have your mind set on something, and I won't even beat around the bush, y'all. I'm doing compost now, and I got so many plans for this spring to start my new garden. And I got compost piles set up at my mom's house, and it has to be related to this, what I'm about to say. My back has been bothering me for, I'm talking about 2 months. Not even that, no, not that long, maybe a month and a half. Not only my back, but my wrist, my ankle, my side, but mostly my lower back. And I'm like, this is strange, because what is driving me a lot, and I'm anticipating a lot right now, is this year's garden. Yeah, I proclaim to be a master, an amateur, but master soil scientist right now. You know what I mean? As far as compost and soil, I've been learning so much about chelation, about how microorganisms can weather certain minerals in the soils, extract certain minerals in soils, like Altisol is red clay, and you see a lot of red clay here in South Carolina, so I was curious about that. So I've done so much research. You could actually use that in potting soil. Not a lot. I went to Beaufort last week and dug up, while on the job, y'all. I mean, because I had a job to do in Beaufort. Stopped on the side of the road and dug up a five gallons worth of pluff mud. That was the heaviest bucket I've ever picked up in my life. Because pluff mud is full of microorganisms, anaerobic microorganisms, but it also has a lot of salt, but it has sulfur. It has a whole bunch of beneficial organisms and organic matter inside pluff mud. So I got some of that. I had gotten some of that before, but in West Ashley, I've been to Folly Beach to get sand, y'all. Beach sand. I've been to the Isle of Palms to get Sartina grass, and I know you guys don't know a lot of what I'm talking about, but I have a whole bunch of different ingredients to make a perfect soil. I just went and got a whole bunch of leaves from my aunt. Shout out to my aunt. She raked up some more leaves for me. I got a whole bunch of leaves. I got shredded cardboard. I got coffee grounds. I got native soil. I got biochar. All this stuff is waiting. And if you are into any of this stuff, like I'm what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So I got a plethora of stuff to grow some great vegetables this year, and it's gonna happen. I'm not worried about that. But all of a sudden, my back is like, no, we don't want you to. My body is like, no, you need to chill out. We don't want. You know what I'm saying? So it's mind over matter, man. So I'll be maybe not the next video or the video after that, but I'll come back maybe 5 or 6 videos from now and tell you guys I'm A-okay. I'm fine. Alright, so we're gonna leave it at that. Mind over matter. Satchel Paige, the great African American baseball player for the Negro Leagues, he said, if you don't mind, it don't matter. And I don't mind, so guess what? Let's get back to the regular scheduled program. As the man continued, his face resembled a tired basset hound, the kind that had been on the trail, that had been on the trail for days without finding whatever it was, been on the trail for days without finding a scent, without catching a scent. So I say all that to say, sometimes the closer you get to achieving your goal, the harder it gets. Whatever that goal may be. And again, I got to tell you guys again, put me on, man. Put me on when you ain't got nothing to do. Put me on when you just want to hear what's going on with the story. Put me on when you done surfed through YouTube, you done looked at Instagram, Facebook, X or Twitter or whatever, and you don't have nothing else to do. Put me on. Put me on a long drive. If you in the car and you driving a long distance, put me on, because my playlist right now is at 100. So you can put me on at 1 and just keep on running with it. But put me on. As the man continued, his face resembled a tired basset hound, the kind that I kind of fumble over that a little bit. As the man continued, his face resembled a tired basset hound, the kind that had been on the trail for days without catching a scent. I don't know why my office maybe it's the coffee, because I didn't turn the heat up. So why does it feel like 100 degrees in here right now? Let's go ahead and turn this heat down a little bit. How about that? Shout out to my math teacher. We used to call him, Mr. Lemon. We used to call him Boot Lemon. Shout out to Boot Lemon. Taught me a lot. Anyways, let's turn this heat down. Lord have mercy, it's hot up in here. It's only 72 degrees, but it feels like 170. We're gonna turn this thing off. All right. As the man continued, his face resembled a tired basset hound, the kind that had been on the trail for days without catching a scent. Whatever it was, it was okay. There was a smell of sardines. Yeah. There was a smell of tuna, or maybe sardines mixed with alcohol and cigarettes, that forced Jacob to stop breathing while Mr. Fred continued to explain the pros and cons that came with all women. Finally, Mrs. Wallace saved the day. No, we're gonna say, let's say who. It's gonna be Mrs. Wallace right now. It's just gonna have to be her. Hey, Fred, you care for another one? You care for another one? I know what it is. I know what I can. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do, because she is religious, so I gotta stay with that. Finally, Mrs. Wallace saved the day. Hey, Fred, you care for something to eat? She handed the man a plate of wow. It's just raw this morning. My stomach's growling, and I don't really care. She handed the man a plate with a fried one fried rib, how do you spell fried? Come on now. One fried rib. And what else did I say he was eating? He was cooking there. One fried rib and a serving and a scoop of potato. Excuse me, there we go. She handed the man a plate with one fried rib and a scoop of potato salad. You're doing all that drinking, and I hadn't seen you eat anything all day. She added. While handing over the plate. I just put she added. Oh my God, y'all, my back is not feeling great. I'm sorry. Just hadn't been feeling great at all. I just decided to mention it today. Yeah. It was like hearing a starter pistol at the beginning of a race. The beginning of a race of a hypnotherapist snapping her fingers to bring a patient out of hypnosis. As soon as Frederick Sr. turned his head, the boy took off toward the kitchen. In the kitchen, he found, no. All right, so this is where I'm going to intervene right here. Before reaching his destination, Jacob noticed Frederick Jr. as the boy, as he was still glaring at the birthday cake. At Suge's birthday cake. At Suge's birthday cake. Around this same time, the effects of the drink, the effects of the mysterious drink also kicked back in gear. Oh boy. I'll bring him back to the kitchen, but for now we gotta figure out how to implement the punch bowl and all that stuff. All right, first of all, let's go. Let's make this purple. Let's make this purple. You know what purple means? That means I'm gonna come back to you. All right. And let's go. Let's see. That's page 44. So let's take it back to the top. I'll explain what I'm doing once I get there. We're gonna go to cake. The word cake, because I don't know where it's at. And I showed you guys how to do this before, so we're gonna find cake. All right. Craft side. Okay, not there. Was looking at the cake. Okay, so this is where I need to go. Remember, we're on page 44. The only other kid around was Fred Jr., who just so happened to be standing next to Suge's birthday cake, looking as though he was dreaming about having a slice. Alright, so we'll fix this later, but right now we're just going to implement this. Next to, on the same table as the cake, on the same table as the birthday cake, as the cake was the punch bowl. What's the punch bowl? Unbeknownst, I've used this before, I know, to Jacob, there was something special with the punch. It's the punch bowl. Unbeknownst to Jacob, unknown to Jacob, undiscovered. Unbeknownst to Jacob, there was something extra. There was something extra. There was something extra. Extra going on with his mother's famous lemonade. Lemonade, right? No, that's not how you spell lemonade. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and copy the word lemonade now because I don't feel like typing it again. So we're just gonna copy it. Okay, let's read that part again. Let's see what that note says on the side here. Have Fred Jr. and Jacob link up by the lemonade bowl to discuss spiking the drink. Okay, so I can, well, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there for now, just in case I forget. But, okay. But there was no one. Okay. He was hoping to be called away by an adult to do a chore, any chore would do. But there was no one. They were all busy at doing adult stuff. The only other kid around was Fred Jr., who just so happened to be standing next to Suge's birthday cake. Eyeing birthday cake. Eyeing it as, let me see. eyeing it as though he was, and I apologize, y'all. This is not my best reading day today. I don't have any excuses except the excruciating pain in my back, but y'all don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna fix that somehow. They were all busy at doing adult stuff. As a matter of fact, let's go check something out real quick. Bring this back a little bit. On the same table as the cake was the punch bowl. Unbeknownst to Jacob, there was something extra going on with his mother's famous lemonade. Okay. All right. So now let's go. Remember, page 44 is where we need to be. Okay. So we're gonna go back up to the top. You can see how I put the cursor here. That's how you move everything to the top. If you don't do that, it's gonna start searching from where you left off. Okay. Advanced find. Now let's find lemonade. Find next. That takes me back to page 3. Okay. The boy's super juice was lemonade that his mother had whipped up with real lemons and honey from a neighbor's beehive. Okay. All right, let's find it again. Edna's lemonade. There were dishes of all sorts neatly placed in platters. Next to the garage door on a separate fold-out table was a bowl of Edna's lemonade. Next to the garage door was on a separate fold-out table was a bowl of Edna's lemonade. As well as Suge's birthday cake. Next to the garage door on a separate fold-out table was a bowl of Edna's lemonade as well as Suge's birthday cake. Okay, now let's keep on going. Alright, so that's 43. Alright, so on the same table as the cake was the punch bowl. Unbeknownst to Jacob, there was something extra going on with his mother's famous lemonade. Okay, yep. All right, so now we can go back to 44. We can go back to here. Make this black again. Okay. It was like hearing a starter pistol at the beginning of a race, or a hypnotherapist snapping her fingers to bring a patient out of hypnosis. As soon as Frederick Sr. turned his head, the boy took off toward the kitchen. Before reaching his destination, Jacob noticed Frederick Jr. as he was still glaring at Suge's birthday cake. Almost trance like translate like as he was still glaring at Suge's birthday cake. Translate. Around the same time, the effects of the mysterious drink also kicked back in. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to add that Jacob and Fred Jr. They're I'm gonna have to put this. I'm gonna have to make it known that these little boys are pretty mischievous. Okay, so now Jacob he's getting more lemonade. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at here, y'all. It's been 37 minutes. So we're gonna pick it up here. I'm gonna put this in the red right now. I know I didn't get too far, but hey, got far enough. I'm trying to figure out, oh boy, I'm in some pain, y'all. Oh boy. Alright, so I didn't get too far, but that's alright. Gonna leave it right there. Thank y'all for stopping by. This is Anthony L. Kelly. Hit that like, subscribe, share, comment, leave a comment, and put me on, y'all. Till next time, I'm out.